Right, it's finally time to finish this bad boy off. Hey guys, welcome back to Tamiya Legends, and once again, thank you for stopping by. So this is the part 3 and final video on the 1984 original Fast Attack vehicle. So I'll put the links to videos 1 and 2 in the description. First video 1 was just on the painting of it, because everything needed painting. The second video, we got it to this stage, bar the gun. And in this video now, we need to finish it. So, just a very quick recap. There was a couple of things missing with this, and they still are missing. The front springs are not correct. The spring that holds the machine gun on is missing. What else was that? And the electrics I have for it, the period electrics, they need a bit of work, so it's just a roller now. But as I say, we need to finish it. So the main thing that's missing is the driver unit. Now I have the original, and it came and it was missing the driver's left arm. So I had to buy a full parts tree for that, where you get these two sections. So I've got a spare bonnet, but you've got if this is obviously. So I've got the driver section, and on the second parts tree, you get both arms, a part of the arm, and the driver's head, gear stick, steering wheel, gear stick, this bracket's part of the steering wheel, and some little brackets to put all that together, and this all gets glued together as well. So I've had a quick look messing around, and I need to paint it first of all on the trees. So we'll be doing that. We've also got the decals to fit, which is not many, and obviously we've gone for the olive drab 2 colour, which is like sort of full matte green military colour. So there's not many of these decals it uses. It's basically the big large white ones, which is going to really make the car pop with the white tyre writing. So we've got all that to do. We've also, because I've not fitted the electrics, I've got the 2 servo mounts just screw into the chassis, and I've also got the manual speed controller bracket that I need to screw into the chassis just while we've got it apart. I'm not too sure how I'm going to get the driver figure in, because I'm going to have to loosen some of this frame off to get it in. If this is a car I really don't want to mess around with too much, because I don't want to chip any paint off. I've got a few little areas to touch up, bits I missed. So we're going to just sort of do it all in one hit. So I think the first thing to do is I'll show you exactly the colours I'm using. I'll show you a close-up of the decals and how I'm going to paint this, and I'll also show you this bodge I've done for the machine gun, which is temporary, but it actually works. If it's for shelf queen wise, it's absolutely perfect. So let's have a look at the stuff I'm using. So first up is this machine gun. So what I did, because there's supposed to be a spring that screws onto there, and then obviously can bolt it down through the chassis, but I had this quite thick rubber tubing, and underneath this it's bolted down on 2 washers. Again, it's only temporary, but it does allow me to just push that on and position it anywhere I want it, which is ideal really for what I want right now anyway. At least it allows me to put the machine gun on. And these are the parts we need. So obviously the full driver cockpit unit, left and right arms, there's a section of underarm we have to glue up, 2 pieces of helmet, and then we've got the steering wheel and gear stick assembly, and a couple of little brackets that screw it all together. But as I say, I'm going to paint this on the tree to start with. So the plan is, it's no different really to how the old one was. What I'm going to do first, I've got the olive green XF67, which is pretty close to the car colour. So I'm going to go over the new section, his torso in green. The idea is to get all that done, and then we'll go to black and do his seat belts on the new one. And then once that's finished, there's a little bit of silver on some buckles to do, and then it's just a full base. Obviously while I'm doing that, we've got his 2 arms to paint, which is the same green, and then we've got the Tamiya, what colour is it? XF15, which is flesh, to do his hands because he doesn't wear gloves. And then we've got his helmet to do, which is a little bit more involved. So basically his full helmet is green, His goggles are black, and then we have a flesh colour around here to do. So there's only 3 colours to use, and most of it's green and black. And then obviously once we've got those bits painted, we can snap them off the tree and then touch up where the tree bits were, and then start super gluing it together. And finally, just to show you, that's the decals. Now we're only using the big star goes on the bonnet. We have this angled Fast Attack Vehicle decal here, which goes on the front of the bonnet. And then we have, that's it actually for the bonnet, just those 2. And then on the sides we have this Fast Attack Vehicle that goes down underneath, and that's all it needs. I tell a lie, there's also some a decal sheet to go on the front of the bonnet for the vehicle clocks and things like that. So let's get cracking. Right, that's the green on, as you can see. I've only gone over what actually needs to be green. Everything else on there is going to be black, apart from a couple of belt buckles. And then on this tree we've done his helmet, which his rear is basically all black, but the front is a top visor, and then it's just got black goggles and flesh colour. That arm underneath of the arm's done, and obviously his 2 arms, and then that just leaves the flesh to do. This paint dries really quickly, so it's pretty decent job. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the Tamiya X1 pen, and I'm going to do steering wheel. Well, in fact, we'll just start this parts tree, and we'll do steering wheel, gear stick, and steering wheel mount. And then I'll put that back, and then we'll go and do his seat belts and see if we can make a decent job of that. Right, let's get cracking. Right, and that's the painting done. And I have to say, I always moan about me not being able to paint very good, but I think I've nailed this one. So that's the driver figure. I should have sprayed this, but I just got carried away. It was very sort of therapeutic with the brush. And obviously brush marks does give it a little bit more age. You can see seatbelt. So I've just got some silver buckles to do once that dries. That's the arms and hands done. And then we've got the steering wheel bracket and gear knob. And then his helmet and his face, which I think looks awesome. And pick it up so you can see how it's going to look. Look at that. That's not bad for me at all, I have to say. So I think that's going to look pretty awesome. So I've got to let that dry now. So what I'm going to do now is we'll take the front end off the bonnet, and we'll get the old driver unit out and just see how much I'm going to have to take apart to fit this in once it's done. Right, so I lied. Before I do the decals and what have you, I just put the driver together. I am so happy with that, guys. I can't tell you how happy I am with that. And I always bitch about my painting skills and stuff, but and I actually did find this quite easy to paint. It's detailed, but it's not. I don't know. I found it a little bit easier for some reason. But that's everything in there. I know you can't really see the gear stick. Probably should have done that gear stick a different colour, but doesn't matter. But how good does that look? Very happy with that. So this is ready to get in the car, and I think I've undone let's show you, I've undone 2 screws. So I've just taken these off, and that should just give me enough movement. But just before I put it in, I'll just show you, because I've got the bonnet off. This is the bodge I made for the machine gun. So as you can see, there's 2 washers and a screw. Now obviously it doesn't hold it in. It's a tight-ish fit. Let's have a look. Push it in. It's not going anywhere. I wouldn't run it like that, but until I find the correct spring, and obviously it allows it to move up and down. So it's better than nothing. Right, let's see if I can get this driver figure in. And we're in. Oh my word, how much better does that look now? That is nuts. Obviously I've not I've got this as far as I've gone, but it just obviously fills that whole unit up. So there's one screw to fasten it down, but the back end is still loose. That's because that doesn't screw down. There's a elastic band, 2 little pips of plastic either side, and it's supposed to be, once you put your 4 batteries in this box here, the elastic band goes over and then that fastens that back end down, but obviously I won't be doing that. Do you know what's great about it as well? I did want a slightly different green colour from the chassis, and I've got it. That was pure luck, because these codes are different from the main paints, because this was TS28, so I'd kind of assumed that to be, if it was the same, to be XF28, but it's a different code altogether. Oh, we're very happy with that. Right, now what we're going to do, we're going to dig the decals out, because we've got the bonnet off, and there's a decal to go along this front, and then there's a star in the centre, and then we can fit that to the car, and then we can do these 2 side decals, and then it'll be pretty much done. I'm excited now. This is the most excited I've been over this car so far. Right, that's got to be very careful with these decals. They're so old. You can just feel the texture of them. They're really thin, and kind of when you take the backing off, it's all wanting to come off. But there's plenty of adhesive on them. Anyway, that's the 2 that go on the bonnet. So you got your Fast Attack Vehicle, and obviously that Star was a little bit of a pig, because there's a channel that runs down. But anyway, it's nice and it looks cool. And on the inside of it, we have the clocks, which go like that. So that's that finished. So there's only actually 2, with this scheme I'm doing, there's only 2 decals left to do, which are these 2, FAV and then Fast Attack Vehicle underneath, and that goes on the side of the car. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to screw this back on, because the decal is going kind of underneath this, and I want to make sure I get the lines correct. And there she is, and oh my word, how good does that look? I'm blown away with that. It's the driver unit that made the full difference. The decals are great, and then obviously the tyre wheel right in pop, but for me, yeah, it was that driver figure. Look at that. So happy with the outcome of this. That just looks super sweet, doesn't it? Oh, we done well. We definitely done well with this one now. All the negativity I had over it, I take back. It's gorgeous, and I cannot repeat myself, but I'm so chuffed I got the driver green different from the body, because that was a bit of a guess, because it couldn't be too different. But let's see if we can lower this camera down a little bit, so you can see it a little bit better. Boom! He's ready to deploy. And that driver. Oh yes, I've done very well there. I am patting myself on the back. Actually, I forgot to put silver turn buckles on his seatbelt, but looking at that now, I might not bother. I can always go back to it and add some details if needs be. But look at that. That's pretty badass, isn't it, guys? God damn, it's like a model, not an RC car. And she's done. And it looks absolutely cock on. I'm really happy with it. Now, the funny thing is, when I went to bed last night, I wasn't feeling this car at all. I think I was that worried about chipping paint off when I was building it, and little bits of paint did come off. I've touched them up today. But just once the driver figure goes in, it just completely transforms this buggy. Obviously this is the Wild One's based on this, and you can kind of run the Wild One without the driver figure in, and it still looks half decent. But this, it just doesn't work for me. And obviously once I painted that driver really well. I'm giving myself a pat on the back for that one, because I do bitch a lot about my painting skills and not the best. but that is superb. I could do with putting a little bit of aging paintwork on it. Might be something I do in the future, I don't know. But so happy. So obviously I still haven't got the drive arms for it, so the wheels are loose. And I do need to get some probably Grasshopper or Hornet front springs to finish that off. But yeah, I'm in no rush to do that. There's I've just seen another bit of paint that's come off. Oh my word. What I was just going to say is, and you guys have probably owned one of these, and especially an original, it's almost more like a model than an RC car, if that makes sense. I don't know if it's because it's military or something. I don't know what it is, but or if it's just a paintwork and I'm just a bit sort of, well, a bit standoffish from touching it. But it kind of feels like it, for me, that's done now. Stick that on the shelf, stick it in a glass cabinet, and it's done. Just look at it, it's pretty. I'm not sure if I'm going to run this, I'll be honest with you. I really don't know. But anyway, I'm starting to babble on. So I hope you enjoyed this, guys. Stick in the comments what you think to it. I'll also do a little short video while I've still got the wild one, and we'll do a little side by side on them, and I'll go through the differences, because there's a few differences. A lot of people think the chassis is the same, and it's not. So that might make an interesting 5-minute video, which I'll probably do. So guys, once again, thanks for watching, it's really appreciated. If you are new to this channel, if you could please consider liking and subscribing, and if you do that, please smash that notification bell for our weekly videos. And as always guys, happy RCing.